The last thing about virtual wholesaling I want to talk about, probably the most important one besides marketing, is acquisitions. You're very good in acquisitions, and you've been teaching people acquisitions for a while.
Yeah, man.
So I want to know what your SMS text blasting acquisitions process looks like. How are you getting these deals? How are you having conversations and overcoming objections through SMS text blasting? Just like, what's a good SMS deal? What do you do? Like, what's the whole process looking like for you?
Yeah, great question, man. So, with texting, like I said, I'm typically not starting, but I'm using REI Reply to get our text messages sent out. With REI Reply, it's connected to Twilio and stuff like that. So you have to pay per text and stuff like that. So we set up campaigns of 50 text per hour for 8 hours a day. So that's, in other words, that's 400 texts per day that we're sending out, and we're sending them out 6 days out the week. So overall, we're going through about 9,600 leads per month, like right at this current moment or whatever, at the current pace. And I found that that's been really, really hitting for us, as well as some other people that I coach as well or whatever. So, but with those 400 texts, pretty much like once we send them out, the good thing about REI Reply is that, the majority of people don't actually reply back to the very first text message. Yeah. But REI Reply is like, it'll send like a text, and then it'll send like a ringless voicemail drop like 5 minutes later, and then it'll send like another text like 3 hours later. That's actually where we've seen like the best results. Like on that second text, pretty much, is when the majority of people have been responding to us. So inside of REI Reply, like they have like these standard messages that you can send out, but I never use those. Like I actually write out my own message. And instead of just saying like, hey, John, how's it going? Or something like that, and assuming that it's that person on the other end of the line. Instead, what we do is we're kind of asking for forgiveness. It's like, hi, sorry, this is out the blue, but my name is Ed, and I'm looking for a property in Chicago, and I came across 123 Main Street. Are you the right person to ask about it? That's how like our text, that initial text is coming out. Then we're sending like a similar voicemail, as well as then like the next message, like, hi, I called earlier about 123 Main Street. Would you consider an offer on it? And that's typically where we get the most replies back. Now, once we get that actual reply back, then we're pretty much processing. Honestly, it's pretty much just handling them like any other lead that you would get in your funnel. So typically, like from that text, from that, yes, sure, what's your offer? Make me an offer, things like that. We're immediately, as soon as possible, trying to get on a phone call with these individuals. There definitely is. I've tested this. There's a direct correlation between how many people say yes and actually make it through the entire process. Between like it's a correlation between that and how quickly you respond back to them on the text message, because it could have been the best lead ever, but you took an hour to reply back. When people are texting you, you're actively in a conversation with these people. So like they're expecting for you to be replying back right away. And when you don't, it's kind of like a disconnect there, and you seem like a shady individual. Yeah. So that's one thing that I definitely have noticed. But so we're trying to hop on a phone call immediately. Once we're on that phone call, we're just processing, right? We're just talking to them about the property. We're trying to get information, building up rapport, finding out what their why is, why they're really looking to sell, and generally getting a feel for what they believe that the repairs are going to cost, and when can we get inside to actually check it out or whatever, get some pics and video of the inside. That's definitely something we like to do. We're not really trying to make very many, if any, offers sight unseen, unless the numbers are just like a no-brainer. Or they're trying to give this downtown condo away for like $100,000 or something. That's a no-brainer. Outside of that, we're going to want to go out to the property. Then we'll set up a time to go see the property. Obviously, I'm virtual right now, right? So I'm blessed that in Chicago, I actually have boots on the ground, like my brothers, family members, friends that I have out there can actually go out to these properties. If I'm in another virtual market where I don't have boots on the ground yet, I'll reach out to someone on Craigslist, or I just recently found out another company called Velocity REOs that have picture takers nationwide. This is crazy. Like I've never even heard of them or whatever. I'm like, wow. So it's companies out there that you all can have go out and take your pictures for you nationwide. So if you're doing these virtual deals, these guys will be a godsend for you. Pretty much at that point, we're just signing contracts. It's pretty much just like any other deal at that point. I don't want to over-labor it. Let's put it like that.
Okay. Yep. And so are you using like Dotloop, DocuSign? How are you getting these contracts done?
Yeah, great question. So we use Sign now. We use DocuSign for years, but for me, Sign now is just significantly easier to use.
Okay. Cool. And
Yeah.
then obviously for the dispo, you have people in Chicago. So that's pretty interesting. So when you're actually getting the thing signed, are you on the phone with the seller or do you just send them an email? Like, what's that process looking like?
Yeah, so typically I'm having the conversation about what the numbers are going to be on a phone call with the seller, and then I'll just shoot them over the contract via sign now if they actually are interested in it. Even if they aren't interested in it, very often we still send them the offer and let them know like, hey, this offer is still available for the next 14 days. Let's put it like that. So we'll kind of leave it on the table for them to kind of make that decision. More often than not, like if we've already had this conversation about the numbers, people are going to want to sign on that contract. Sometimes it happens sooner than others.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Consider liking this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm so my videos can get shown to more people so I can help my mission on this channel to help you make over $100,000 in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free. If you're getting any value out of this whole channel or from the clip today, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means so much to me. Have a blessed day.